I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Would you call me old-fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan? Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right.
Yeah. Look. Alright. Now pretty bourbon brown eyes, can I grab you off the shelf? You sweet but you strong, I gotta have you to myself. I'm trying to let you know that you're the only drink I'm trying to pour. Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look, I had a couple, so you know I'm telling the truth. I don't settle for kettle one, I don't settle for goose. First we had a couple rounds just to see how it go. Now it's time to tap that barrel, girl, let's see how it flow. You got that caramel dripping, now I'm sipping. They can't take you straight, but baby, I'm built different. It feels different. Listen, you keep getting Dunton loose. You far from the jungle juice, but you keep it 100 proof. I don't need no Coca-Cola or no Sprite for you. And yeah, you good on the rocks, might put that ice on you. You got that Jameson, that Johnny, or that Jack, and you can miss me. I need bourbon in my life, cause baby, you my favorite whiskey. Come on.
I don't want you holding back. Tell me everything, and I do mean everything. Everything. It's time for last call. You know that this liquor been flowing faster than free fall. If we keep going, I might not be able to recall. My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, let the band play on, and they be playing our song.
Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look.
Hey, y'all. What's mackin'? How you crack-a-lackin'? How you crack-a-lackin'? What's mackin'? I feel like I've not said that in so damn long. Hey, London. Hey, Uncle Diddy. Thank you for the resub. Hey, Miss Yvonne. Thank you for the resub. So great to see y'all. Thank you for the hype train, too. I'm sure that's because of the resubs. Hey, Locke. How you doing? Like he ain't just, right back there and I already said hello to him. But hey, Blue Majesty, my cosmic sister. Happy 10 months. Thank you so much. I missed y'all. I really, really missed y'all. And I am back. Lisa the X, a.k.a. Brown Whiskey Woman, live from Lock and Key Media Studios here in ATL, shawty. What's up, y'all? What y'all been up to? Like, I ain't been here, so that's what I've been up to. Yeah, of all weeks that you haven't resub Lock, because you resub like every other week. I guess last week was probably your resub week, and I missed that, and the week before that, but the recap is I ain't been here. That's the recap. But the last time I was here, we did Wild, Wacky, and Wonderful Whiskey. Some of it was wonderful and some of it was not. But we did have a clear winner. We had a Midnight Snack. That was the Elvis Presley whiskey. That was peanut butter, banana, and chocolate. And it was actually pretty damn good. I liked it. So, yeah, I gave that a yas. Because remember, I had my cards. I had my rating system. So that's the recap. But since I was gone, some things did happen. I did do some things and go some places, and I have a report for you all. And so my friend London won't get on me. I'm going to tell you all I celebrated her birthday on August 24th. So another rotation around the sun for me. Happy birthday, Lisa. It was good. It was a nice, quiet day at home. I enjoyed it. And yeah, that was my birthday. So I did that. But the most important thing that I did and what I'm here to talk to you all about is oh, those are my birthday candles. Y'all see that? That's my birthday candles flickering on my cake. I didn't say nothing to get the lights turned off. It's my flickering lights. That's my birthday candles. Hey, Lioness Nala, how you doing? Yeah, that was what that was. So, yay me. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. I know London will be like, you just glossed over that. Okay, yeah, I had a birthday. So, but what I'm really here to talk to you all about, what I'm really, really excited to talk to you all about, all the time I've been gone and I'm back, is I went to the Bourbon Women SIP, which is short for Symposium. And it was a conference. It was a liquor conference, a bourbon conference with all women's. And it was awesome. So I'm going to get into that. I got some swag to show you all. I have some things that I'm going to be tasting that were in the swag bags. I have a slideshow. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got a lot of things that I want to share with you all. And just can I say overall about the event, it was wonderful. I enjoyed myself. It was very, very informative. I had a great time. The excursions, the food was awesome, and the liquor flowed from 7 a.m. I said 7 a.m. all through the entire day. So if you wanted to be drunk, you could be. I was not drunk, not one day, but I did drink a pretty fair amount of liquor because I didn't have to drive anywhere. They had bus transportation for us every place we wanted to go. So I was not drinking or driving, and I was not walking and weaving, though there were a lot of people that did walk and weave. That is a thing, just so you all know. Because I got bumped by a couple of people that walked and wove. So, yeah, it was a lot of leaning. It was a lot of close talking. There's a lot of close drunk talking. It was a lot of that. Hey, Ed. Happy 10 months. Thank you. I appreciate you. So, yeah, it was some stuff happening. So I have some things going through Stream Elements that directly relate to what I'm talking about. First of all, I have the Bourbon Women organization. I have new Riff, which is one of the things I'm going to taste. I also have Rebel 100, and I have Keeper's Heart is the other whiskey. And then I have I don't have the chocolates, but I tasted some of the most delicious chocolates I've ever had in my entire life. And I have that link there. I'm going to speak about that. So, yeah. So, anyway, and I found out they ship. So, I'm here to tell you, if you're here in the Atlanta area, you will probably at some point taste some of these chocolates because I am going to have some shipped to me when it gets to be just a little bit cooler outside, so we don't have to worry about the melting and all of that stuff. And that was partially why I didn't transport too, because I didn't want them to melt. But they were delicious. So I have a lovely slideshow prepared for you all, but I do want to kind of go through the conference. I want to talk about it first before we get into the pictures, even though a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So I talked about the close talking, the close drunk talking, and the walking and the weaving. I already talked about that. But anyway, the conference itself, it is 6 years strong. It started with 70 women and it grew to 480. So this year they had roughly about 480 women. And that is fantastic. Hey, Psalmist, how you doing? That's just fantastic in itself. It was very, very well organized. We had great swag. We got a swag bag full of stuff. The volume of liquor, y'all. I have no words for it. Okay. Liquor that was offered in cocktails and samples, what we got in our bags. I mean, it was just phenomenal. The sponsorship and the partnership that they have with these various liquor companies is amazing. And I mean, you know, Louisville is like liquor heaven. Kentucky is like liquor heaven. There are so many brands, large, small, intermediate. There's so much there and so much that you can't find outside of Kentucky. It's just absolutely amazing. They had a silent auction. They had so many great items that were up for bid. And for me, you all know that I'm a very curious person. And if it's something I'm interested in, I want to learn as much as I can about it. I learned so much. And I feel like I knew a pretty fair amount about whiskey and liquor. I mean, I consider my knowledge to kind of be intermediate, I would say, on that. But there is so much more out there for me to learn. I mean, I can't wait to go back next year. And I learned so much. So I kind of want to go through the timeline and sort of tell you all what sort of happened. I arrived a day before it started and I left the day after because I needed a little break. So I gave myself some extra days in there. So I arrived on Wednesday. And this would have been, it was August 15th through 18th. So I arrived the Wednesday before. And before you know, when you're registering, you sign up for your classes, your excursions. So you know everything that's going to happen, what you're going to do, where you're going. So on Wednesday, I checked into a hotel that was up the street from the main hotel that I was going to be staying in. And I asked the gentleman at the front desk, hey, give me a recommendation on where I can go and eat some dinner that's like in walking distance. So he referred me to this place called Doc Crow's, which is on Whiskey Road. This is where a lot of the distilleries are located in downtown Louisville. And as soon as I walked into the place, I realized I had been there before. I have pictures of this because I have an outside picture and an inside picture. The amount of liquor they have on the walls is dazzling. Like I walked in there like a tourist, like looking up because it's amazing, even though I had been there before. And the food is wonderful. Okay, the food is absolutely wonderful. So that was Wednesday. On Thursday, we had our check-in and we had a reception that Angel Envy actually sponsored. So I got to tell y'all my little check-in story. So first of all, you know, when we do these things, you always have a badge, right? So this is my badge. So it had my name on it. Got my government name on it too. I'm gonna cover that up. But it had Lisa the X and, you know, Ellenwood, Georgia. And then you had these little ribbons that you could attach that said different things. So I chose the one that said, my ribbon is better than yours. But you could put whatever you wanted to put on it. So on the back, okay, it had your personalized agenda, right? And I know you all can't see the fine writing, and that part doesn't matter because I'm about to explain that. So this was like your personalized agenda. So it has what I signed up for on Friday and, you know, what classes, what excursions, what I've signed up for on Saturday, Sunday, all of that. So I go in, check in my registration, get my swag bag with all my stuff in it, get my little badge. And by the way, I didn't show you all this, but this is my executive bourbon steward pin. This means that I am an executive bourbon steward. Say, y'all see that? See my little pen? Am I holding it up right? I look at myself. There you go. That's it. So that let everybody know that I'm an executive bourbon steward. And now y'all know I'm for real. I didn't just make that shit up. So anyway, I go check in and give me my badge. And I'm looking at this personalized agenda for Lisa. And it's got some good stuff on it, but I didn't sign up for none of this shit. I was like, what? I don't remember signing up for none of this. So I was confuddled. So I walked around a little bit. I kept looking at it like it was going to change or something. And then I went back to the registration desk and I told the woman there, I said, I got my personalized agenda and I think either I was drinking or the person who did the personalized agenda was drinking because I did not sign up for any of this. So the woman says, let me take a look at that. So she looks at it and she says, let me look at the computer. So she goes to the computer and she looks and she says, you're right. You didn't sign up for none of this. So she handwrites me a new agenda, which is actually the stuff that I signed up for. And she puts it in the back of my badge. Right? So I said, well, you know what? Just tell whoever did it, whoever did this agenda, they need to either drink a little more or drink a little less. I don't know. Whatever's going to make it better. But make sure you relay that message. So she said, it was me. I did it. I was the person who prepared this. So I was the person who either need to drink a little more or drink a little less. And she said, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I needed to drink a little less when I was doing this because this is all messed up. I was like, yeah, pretty much. Now, the things they had lined up for me, they were fantastic. I would have gladly gone, but I kind of wanted to go to the stuff that I signed up for, that I actually signed up for. So yeah, so that was the sign-in story. That was the check-in story. So that night we went to a reception hosted by Angel Envy, which was great. And I'm going to show you all some pictures. And then on Friday we had breakfast. Now, I am not a morning person. Hey, Marcia. I'm not a morning person at all. At all. A-L-L, all. Breakfast was at 7 a.m. from 7 to 8. And then you got into your day. So when I tell you I struggled, and I said struggle. I struggled to get up. I did, but I set my alarm, got my ass up, went down there for breakfast. They had liquor for breakfast at 7 a.m. There were tastings, they had cocktails, they had liquor. I was like, who the hell is drinking at 7 a.m.? But trust, when I tell y'all, it was a lot of people drinking. So remember, this is 480 women in this huge ballroom. There were a couple of men there, like, husbands, significant others, but for the most part, it was women. So this is a mix of people in the industry, but most of them were like bourbon enthusiasts. They was drinking. I was not. Hey, DC Chill brother, I was not. I did not partake at 7 a.m. because I was struggling. I just wanted some coffee to wake up. So we had breakfast, and then we had our welcome speaker that came and, welcomed us to the event and talked about it. And then we got into the workshops. I went to a workshop about finishing the barrels. It was called Stave Finishing. Then at lunch, we had more liquor, more food. And then I went on an excursion to Buzzard's Roost, which I'm going to talk about when we get to the slides. It was fantastic. I'll tell you all about that. And then that evening, we attended an award ceremony called the Women of Whiskey Awards. Wow. And there was a woman there, 92 years old. She got an award for all of her achievements in the whiskey world, which was fantastic. And I have a picture of her. On Saturday, we had liquor breakfast again. It wasn't quite as early, but it was early. Another workshop, I did another workshop about why bourbon matters, which was really great because it talked about the impact the bourbon industry has, not just for Kentucky, but just worldwide. So that was great, a lot of history. Then I went on a scavenger hunt with Mary Dowling whiskey. And if you all don't know who Mary Dowling is, she is the mother of bourbon. She's the first female who owned and operated a distillery. Then they had this thing called a bar-orama. It was set up in the ballroom, and it was all these stations you could go to and try all of these different liquors. Hey, Jordan Williams Gaming. It was fantastic. But they had food there in the center, and then all of these vendors, and you could go and talk to them. Some of them had craft cocktails, but everybody had samples that you could take. It was great. And then on Sunday, they had another liquor breakfast. Gotta stress the liquor breakfast. And then I took this excursion that was called Grain to Glass, and it was with Bluegrass Distillers. I really enjoyed this. I don't want to say I enjoyed it more than any of the others, but I really enjoyed it because it took you exactly from grain to glass. So you saw the corn growing in the field. We got a chance to go to the rick house where they store the whiskey. We actually had a tasting, straight out the barrel with a Whiskey Thief, and I have a picture of that. Then you got a chance to see kind of the finished product when they're putting it in the bottle. And then, of course, they have a gift shop where they sell the product. So that was fascinating to me because, of course, we know that whiskey comes from grains. But for me to actually see the entire process, absolutely love that. So I have pictures. I have a slideshow that I'm going to share with you all, but I wanted to give you kind of the rundown. And then on Monday, I came back home. So I chilled in the hotel, and then I got on the plane and came back to the ATL, and I was here. So, yeah. And I brought a couple of souvenirs back with me. And actually, I distributed one of them as I arrived today to K-Lock. I brought him a little treat. And it wasn't liquor because y'all know he don't drink. So it wasn't that. So I'm just going to tell you that. But he did get some chocolate. He got some bourbon balls. So he got that. So anyway, he'll have to try those and tell us how it tastes, what he thought of those. So we got a slideshow. So let's roll the slideshow, and I am going to kind of talk through that. Hey, Lakita, how you doing? I'm going to talk through the slideshow. I have some of it labeled, but then a lot of it is just the photos, the pictures. So let's pull that up and take a look so you all can share in the fun that I had. So it officially was the Bourbon Women SIP Symposium, which I thought was a great play on words. But that was actually projected on the floor of the hotel at the Hyatt. And I just thought it was awesome looking. So I took a picture of it. So that was the opener as we walked in. All right. So I told you all about Doc Crow's. So it is a Southern Smokehouse and raw bar, right? The food is excellent. So that's the outside. And then you can just see that's just a small portion of what lines the walls on the inside. That is throughout the entire restaurant. They have those racks with liquor. Any type of whiskey you can possibly imagine. Of course, whiskey is their specialty, but they do have clears as well that they sell. So that was my dinner on Wednesday when I came in. And as I said, I realized I had been there before because when I actually became an executive bourbon steward, my cousin took me to this restaurant for a celebratory drink. I had Whistle Pig Boss Hog was the sip that I took. They call it a tasting. The tasting was $80 because a bottle of Boss Hog is about $700. So that's why the tasting was so expensive. So my cousin will never let me live down the fact that I had an $80 taste. But it was great. It was awesome. All right, next. So this was outside of the ballroom, the Regency Ballroom. And you see they had Bourbon Women there. And inside around that corner was where the food was, the main ballroom, and of course, all of the liquor vendors and the other individuals that were selling merchandise. So, and I'm going to show you all some of the merchandise that they had. I have a couple of things that I purchased, but I really didn't have to purchase anything, honestly, because there was so much great stuff in the swag bag. Hey, C Love, how you doing? So yeah, that was our first view as we walked up. Next. So this was the contents of the swag bag, right? This is all of the stuff that we got. You guys can see we got caramel corn and stickers and pins, a Four Roses hat. That's some of the liquor. That's not even all of it. Socks. What else? All types of paper, right? All types of paper with information on it, which I brought all my paper back home. I put it in my suitcase. Hand sanitizer, Templeton actually, and I actually have that here. I'm drinking tea out of it today. But the canister for, water or tea or whatever you're drinking, hot or cold actually. But that's the swag bag. So just show you some of the contents there. Next. So we started off, as I said, on Thursday with the Angels Envy welcome reception. So this was just on the wall there at Angel Envy. I just liked the photo because it talked about the distillery process and their Bottled in Bond series release, which is one of their new things. And you could purchase your bottle there, and you could personalize the bottle if you chose to, and you did your own pour. So when they say your own pour, they had basically kind of like these faucets filled with Angel's Envy that you would take your bottle to and you would fill it up yourself. So that was really cool. And you could purchase those. Next. So this is inside the reception. You can see it says Angel's Envy. So this is just some of the people that were there. And you can see the barrels. And I did take another shot of the barrels because I don't know if you guys have picked up. I kind of have a thing about the whole Rick House and the barrels and how things are aged. Like that portion of whiskey distillation is really fascinating to me. So I probably took a lot more pictures of barrels than I probably should have. I didn't put all of them in here. Some of them are just for me to look at because I like that. Next. There's the barrels. So you see that they're labeled, and then down at the bottom, those empty barrels actually show different char levels. And that has to do with the, taste of the liquor, of the whiskey, and how it's aged. Next. So this was their cocktail menu, and I told you we had specialty cocktails just about every place we went. And I just took a picture of it, so you could try as many cocktails as you wanted to. It was totally up to you. I tried on Thursdays we drink pink, which was delicious. It was bourbon, vanilla, raspberry syrup, and then something called Kashi Rosa, which I was not familiar with. It's some type of liqueur, but it's not something that I was familiar with, but it was delicious, and lemon. And then I also tried the Havana Royale. That was a really good one too. And it was really with one of their whiskeys that is finished in a rum barrel. And it was sugar, lime, and then rosé. So it kind of reminded me of my Henri motherfucker drink that I've made before. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. But it had the lime added to it, which definitely gave it a different kind of flavor. And then, of course, they had the Ode to Betsy. But I just went with 2 drinks. I went with 2 cocktails. That's kind of my limit. The pink one was the best one to me. It was better than the Havana Royale, but they were both really, really good. Next. So I put let the drinking commence because I told y'all we drank from 7 a.m. until the end of the day. So this was outside of the ballroom. When we first arrived, Angel's Envy had a table set up. This was before we even went to the actual event. But yeah, this is what it looked like. So those are reps from Angel's Envy. Next. So this is some of the things they were auctioning off. That first picture, that's a bad picture. I just realized that. But anyway, the second picture is a little bit better, a little clearer. You can see some of the things. They had all these gift baskets that, you could bid on, liquor, all of these things, all sorts of things. They had tastings. They had things that you could bid on to go to like a private dinner at one of the distillers' homes, the master blender. They had all just a wide variety of things that you could bid on. So that was really, really cool. And at the end of the auction, they had gotten rid of everything. So everybody took home something that bid, I guess. I did not bid. Next. So this is one of the speakers. And forgive me, I do not recall her name, but she was one of the speakers at the Bourbon Conference. As I said, we had several speakers that did presentations, of course, all females. So that was awesome to see and to be in the company of such. It was very inspiring. Next. So this brings me to my first excursion. This was Buzzard's Roost. So that buzzard, that stuffed buzzard, of course, that is their mascot. And you can see the picture on the side with the chocolates. Those were the delicious chocolates that I was telling you guys about. But these were the signature cocktails that we had. So the Distiller's Rush is something that I do plan to make on this show. It kind of reminds me of the Blackberry Smash that I've made on here before, but it's a little bit different. But it's called a Distiller's Rush, and it's a take on a Gold Rush cocktail. Then they had the Maple Brown Old Fashioned. If you all have tuned into the show for a bit, you know that I am not a fan of Old Fashions, nor am I a fan of Manhattans. Those are two drinks that I really do not care for, but they are classic whiskey drinks. I swear every place we went, they had Old Fashions. But this Old Fashioned had a twist on it, this Maple Brown. And I really liked it. I feel like one of the special things about it was there were Turkish tobacco bitters in it. And that gave it a whole different flavor. And I am going to look for the Turkish tobacco bitters. I've never had them before. They were absolutely delicious. It just gave it such a different flavor. And then the rim on the side, this was also something really different. Usually we're used to like a sugar rim or a salt rim. They took Benet wafers, which is a specialty out of South Carolina, Charleston in particular, crushed those up, and that's what they did the rim in. And you see she just did it on one side. And then the skewer was bacon. Now, I'm a non-pork eater. But y'all, when I tell y'all, I tasted a little bit of that bacon and it was delicious. Oh my gosh. It was like,
It made you rethink some things.
woo! It was like a maple bacon that had come from one of the local farms in the Kentucky area. Oh my God. It was so good. I didn't eat the whole thing because I knew it would mess me up, and I wasn't trying to be messed up. I would have had the bubble guts. Because I don't eat pork, but it was so good. But I want to give a shout out to the woman who was the bartender on these drinks. Her name was Kim. She gave such a great presentation, and you all, the way that she presented how she did her garnishes made me rethink garnishes. And you all know I always say garnishes are sort of like the lingerie for your drink and may or may not be important. But she talked about how she crafted the garnishes and she showed us how she did them. And it was wonderful. It was so enlightening for her to talk about the garnishes and how for some people they are a big deal. And of course, if you're doing a cocktail party, they are. So that was really great. Such a great presentation. So that was Buzzard's Roost. And actually, Buzzard's Roost, I did buy a bottle of this because I was so impressed with it. It was wonderful. And I will be talking about this on a future show. Next slide. So, Buzzard's Roost, they had charcuterie, y'all. They had charcuterie. So what they did with us is we came in, they divide us up into groups. So one group would go to one area, have a tasting with the charcuterie. Then we had a tasting with cheese. And then we did the tasting with the craft cocktails, right? So we had the charcuterie. Again, that was a lot of pork, which I did not eat. But I did eat the other little stuff on the side. They had the tastings for us, their bottled in bond, their rye, and then one called their toasted oak. So, yeah, I was excited that they had charcuterie. And y'all almost said, we were talking, asking questions. I almost said charcuterie, and I had to catch myself. I was like, charcuterie. You get used to saying something wrong, and then you say it wrong, right? All right, next. So this is their still. And I took a picture of this because, first of all, for scale, because later on I'm going to show you all another picture of a still, and you're going to see, wow, what a big difference. But this is their copper still. This is part of the distillation process. Hey, folklore! Folklore. I tell you, you know how to enter a room, dude. So, but I thought the name of it, how they name the still, and lots of distilleries name their stills. Like, this is a common thing. But I loved Buzz Cauldron because I love Toy Story. So I absolutely loved that they called it Buzz Cauldron. I was like, that's so cool. So Jason, the person that's listed on there, Jason Horde, he actually gave me and two other people a tour of the area because they're fairly new. This is, kind of a fairly new established distillery here because they were sourcing, and I think they still source. But the plan, of course, is for them to be able to make their own whiskey on premises. So when I say source, that means they get the whiskey from someplace else. That other place follows their mash bill or their recipe. And then, quit it, folklore. They then put it in a bottle and put their label on it. So it's not that it's not their recipe or mash bill. It's just sourced from someplace else that produces a mass amount of whiskey. That's what it means. But I love the name. So I wanted to take a picture of that. Next. So one of my other excursions was the Mary Dowling scavenger hunt. And as I said, with the scavenger hunt, we went to different locations. We had different clues and we had to go to these different locations. But every place we went, they had something special for us. So the first place was a leather shop. And in this particular leather shop, the building has been repurposed, but it was actually the gym that Muhammad Ali trained in when he was in Louisville. So upstairs is the actual boxing ring and with the original flooring and everything. And they rent it out for events. But the bottom portion of it is a leather goods shop. So the two ladies that you see, they were actually giving samples. They're brand ambassadors for Mary Dowling. And so they were giving us all of the tastings. One of the things that I tasted that shocked me, from Mary Dowling, was they have a bourbon that is finished in a tequila barrel. And you all know I don't mess with the clears. But that shit was so good. Man, I was like, wow. It was one of the tastings. I tasted that and I went back and got another taste of that because it was really, really good. So it's excellent. The bottle on the very end, a dark bottle, and I know it's not a real clear picture, was actually a s'mores flavored whiskey. That was also very good. Hey, Brown Eyes, how you doing today? It was also very good, but you could have as many samples as you wanted. You can see they gave you a nice little taste in there. And then, as I said, you could go back and get as many as you wanted. And they had craft cocktails for us too. Next. So I took this picture so you all could see the sheer volume of ladies that were there. This was in the ballroom. I don't remember if this was a liquor breakfast or liquor lunch, but it was one of them. But anyway, As I said, they had in each corner, they had bartenders set up. They would also have vendors outside of the ballroom so you could get your tastings. And then, like as I said, they had tastings as well as craft cocktails. Next. Yeah, see, love, you would be litty. So this is one of the classes I took. This was offered by Jay Mattingly. And this shows char levels on the barrels. So you all know I was there for that, right? So it tells you what does a toasted stave look like. And a stave is basically the wood inside the barrel. And then what is it on a light stave and what's a heavy stave or a heavy char is what they would call it. And you could taste the difference. And you can see the difference also. You know, I think that's an excellent picture. We talk about the pee-pee cups, right? Excellent picture of those pee-pee cups and who drinks water and who maybe needs to drink a little bit more, right? That's what K-Lock would say. Next. This was another class. This is the one called Why Bourbon Matters, even if you don't drink it. And again, it was an excellent class, excellent presentation. And this is where I got a chance to taste the Mary Dowling tequila barrel, as well as I had the sample when I went on the scavenger hunt. But we tasted a lot of different things so that we could do a comparison. So up at the top left, y'all, it was corn liquor. You all remember my whole debacle with the whole corn liquor? Okay, so let me tell you all, this corn liquor was excellent. It was very, very good. It was nothing like what I tasted. This was a very different profile. It was really, really good. We tasted Old Grandad, the Mary Dowling finish in the tequila barrel, Maker's Mark, and then Old Forester. Because we always, if you go to any type of whiskey event, they're going to talk about Old Forester because it is the first bourbon ever put into a bottle. Okay, so they're always going to talk about it. So really cool. And of course, for me, knowing that I have discussed some of these things on my show. And this particular presentation was awesome for me. Like, I'm going to tell y'all, I felt like super smart in this presentation because I knew a lot of this information. And a lot of this information I've shared with you all when I did Whiskey 101. So I was really proud of myself to know that I had actually assimilated this information and even better shared it, because I think it doesn't mean anything. If you know something and you're not sharing it with anybody else, what difference does it make? You know, you're the only person that knows it. So I've been sharing it. So I'm really happy about that. But it's a great class. Next. So this is the Whiskey of Women Wow Award. So you remember I told you there was a 92-year-old woman that got an award? That is her, you all. Her name is Elmer Lucille Allen. 92 years old. She worked for Foreman Brown, which is one of the major liquor companies. They make lots of the brands. They're holders of lots of the brands. And she received an achievement award, a lifetime an achievement award. So that was phenomenal to see. Thank you, Funk Lure. I appreciate that. It was phenomenal to see. It was such a great event to see so many women doing things in the liquor industry. So I wanted to share with you all that some of the categories: Master Blender, Best Woman-Owned Brand of the Year, Bartender of the Year, Spirits Writer of the Year, Podcast of the Year. There were so many categories. And for me, as I said, you know, very inspiring because it lets you know all of the different areas, all of the different things you could do. No award for Best Muddler. I'm sure I would have gotten that, but no award for that, Funkalore. But so many different areas that women were involved in that really you don't think about, you know, areas that I never really considered necessarily. But it was so great to see. And as I said, that auditorium was full. And then there were so many people that were nominated. And I have a list of the nominees, but there were roughly about 18 nominees for the different categories. And one of the people that I have talked to, when we get to her picture, I'm going to talk about that a little bit, I've presented to you all before, was there. And I want to tell you all about our interaction. But Elmer Lucille Allen, it was the Trailblazer Award that she got. Trailblazer, because she's been in the industry working actively about 50 years. So that was great to see. Next. So this was the Bar-O-Rama. So this is where all of the different people, had their vendors set up. Muddle, 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 3 times, right? Is it like Beetlejuice? A muddler shall appear. But this is the Bar-O-Rama. So there were all these vendors doing these craft cocktails. You could, taste everything. You could talk to them about their products. A lot of new products out there. Again, for me, when I go to events like this, even if I go locally, I always try to hit up things that I've never tried before, because one thing that I'm big on this show is I want to bring you all things that are different, things that are new. We kind of know our Woodford Reserves and our Angel's Envy and Maker's Mark and all of those things, and they're excellent products, but there's a lot of new stuff out there that I want us to be aware of, and I want to be able to share it with you all. So I did try quite a bit of stuff this night, but I was in a hotel. I just went upstairs, got on the elevator, and rode back up to my room. And I do have a little elevator story for y'all. Remind me to tell you that. Hey, he turned off the lights on me. Y'all can't see that, but he turned off the lights on me on that. But yeah, I was in the elevator alone, so okay, let me just say that much. So it didn't. He turned off the lights on me again. So damn wrong. Anyway, next slide. Okay, so I told you all I had a story for you about someone I had shared information with you all before. When I did my Women's History Month presentation, I talked about this woman. Her name is Creola Dickerson, and she works for New Riff. So, since I had done a presentation on her, she's a brand ambassador for New Riff. So, since I had done a presentation on her, when I saw her, I kind of had like a little fangirl moment, y'all. I was like, wow, she's here. So I went over to her, introduced myself, and I told her that I had done a presentation. I said, I do a show on Twitch, and, this is who I am, and this is what I'm about. And I included you in my presentation for Women's History Month. And she cried. She cried, which made me cry, which made me emotional, because she said, wow. She said, I never would have thought when I entered into this industry and became a brand ambassador that I would be someone that would be featured in a presentation that someone would give about women in history, women in whiskey. So that was so cool. It was so meaningful. So I was like, will you please take a picture with me? And she was like, of course. So this is our picture. I definitely wanted to put that in there. So I was super excited to meet her. And she was so nice, so gracious. She was at the New Riff table. They had a great cocktail. And I'm going to be drinking some New Riff tonight, too, just to let you know, because I gotta do that. Next. So this was kind of the end of the road. This was on Sunday. Thank you, Funklore. This was on Sunday. So this was the bus. This was our transportation. The whole time we were there, it took us to all the excursions. So I got to talk about this a little bit. So this is Bluegrass Distillers. We rode the bus probably about maybe 30, 45 minutes from downtown Louisville to this location. Let's go to the next picture because I want to talk about this. So this is what we pull up in front of. Y'all see that house?
Oh, hell no.
When I tell y'all I had some PTSD slave elemental P. When we pulled up on that house, I was like, the hell? They said we was going to a farm. I was like, this don't really look like no farmhouse to me. So and let me just tell you all, just for some demographics right here. So there were about 480 women there, and I would say probably 80 of them may have been women of color, we'll say. And on that particular trip, on that bus, there were probably about 6 women of color. So, yeah. So we pulled up, and I was like, I need a drink. I need a drink. So we get out and we go in here, and they tell us how, come on, sit down, have a seat on the porch, right? So we're out there on the porch, and they're telling us how the house is on the historic register, which just, again, I'm like, yeah, all right. It's on the historic register, and how they had to go through some extra steps to secure that property because it was on the historic register, because they have rules about maintaining a property that's on the historic register, and there are only certain things you can change, so on and so forth. So next picture. So y'all see that? That was on the side of the house. Now y'all tell me what that looked like to you. That was on the side of the house, kind of back behind it. So yeah, I'm going to just say that. Thank you for the resub, Psalmist. I appreciate it. So moving on, next slide. So that was one of the trees. Now y'all know my 8th grade mind was at work. Hey, DJ Moni G. I took that picture because what did that look like in y'all 8th grade mind? It looked like several things to me. Yeah, that was one of the trees on the property, but yeah. Okay, next. All right. So I told you this whole excursion was, grain to glass. So they're in the process of building this. So that is the still. So remember I showed you the other picture of the still, the little one, Buzz Cauldron? Look at that still. Like, look how much bigger that still is. The next picture is the build, because they're actually building inside the facility. They're building the facility and getting it set up. And then the last picture is the fermenter. The fermenter is where the alcohol is actually fermenting in those huge tanks. They have, there were, I think, 12 of them. And you could go up the steps and look down into the fermenter if you wanted to and just see how deep it was. I mean, it's massive. But that is where the whiskey actually is fermenting. So that is the yeast being in there, and it's getting to the process where it's going to be put into a barrel to age. Okay. Next picture. So I took a picture of this gentleman because this is Stan. Stan was our photographer the entire time we were there. I believe Stan was about, 427 years old. But he was quite the photographer. He was there. He was getting all the pictures. Stan took a lot of pictures of me for whatever reason. So there's probably lots of pictures of me floating around, but we got along fabulously. I mean, he was like, "Hey, Lisa." I was like, "Hey, Stan. How you doing? Hey, Malik, how you doing?" Yeah, we bonded. we bonded because, like I said, he wasn't even looking at my name tag, and he remembered my name. So anyway, but that's Stan. So I had to take a picture of him. And Locke said he looked like he putting film in it. But yes, that's Stan. Like yeah, he does. But yeah, 427 easily. And they said that he had been at all of the events actually as one of the photographers. They had about 5 or 6 professional photographers there, and he was one of them. Next. So this is them about to give us a taste out of the barrel. Right? So he is making, remember, this was one of our words, a bunghole. So he takes the mallet and the screwdriver, And he is actually creating a hole so that he can give us a taste of whiskey directly from the bowl. So this was in their rick house. So it's directly out of the barrel. Next. So you can see the rick house. So the first one is the barrels, and you can see how they store their barrels upright. Some people will do their barrels on the side. It just depends. Somebody said muddle, and it's like magic. Malik appears. And then the second picture is the whiskey thief. That is the mechanism that is used to pull the whiskey directly out of the barrel. So I told you all, I'm always learning something, right? I'm always researching. I'm always finding out something. So there was something that I found out. I found out that the whiskey thief has a secondary name. That secondary name, or maybe it's the first name, I don't know. It's called a venture.
Spell it.
Vincher. Okay. And it is from a French word, which means to swallow. He turned off the lights on me. I can't see it, but hey, this is what it is. I didn't make this up. This is what it is. So yes, it has another name. And I did not know that. I was right then and there's years old when I learned that it had a secondary name. But when I came home, that's when I actually did the research to find out what it meant and, where did it come from? What was the background on it? Because I didn't know that. So the third picture was the sample. Those were the things that we sampled while we were there. And, I told you about the corn bourbon. So it was a blue corn bourbon, which is a lot like corn liquor. So yes. And then, the first one was aged. It gives you the age, the entry proof. And the entry proof is what they put it in the barrel at. And then that means it will probably be watered down. Just pure water will be added. And that's what will bring the proof down to be put into a sellable bottle, pretty much. And then, again, the corn liquor has information on a corn bourbon called blue corn bourbon. And then the wheated bourbon. They also do a wheated bourbon. So that is just, I took a picture of, the paper and the tasting that I was doing. They had the little, those are called Glencairn glasses because they allow for a better nose and you can kind of tilt it around. You're not supposed to swirl your whiskey. I know we've talked about that before, but you just kind of slowly rotate it to release the aroma and to enhance the taste. With whiskey, you swirl, but you don't do that with your whiskey. So, next. So this is the finished product. This is the bottle on the shelf. So this was inside of the farmhouse. They had these shelves set up and they were selling their product in the gift shop. So because it was a historic home, there were some elements of it that they had to retain, but then there were other things that they could change. So of course, adding that shelving was something that they could add so they could sell their wares. Next. So this is the Atlanta chapter of Bourbon Women because there's some of them, not all of them, but when I paid my admission, I automatically was signed up for a year's subscription or year's membership to the Atlanta chapter of Bourbon Women. So that was my first time meeting this women, and they were so gracious, so friendly. It was great to meet them. They do things every month. I will definitely be joining them and participating. So I was super excited to meet them there. The woman with the pink hair, her name is Christine. She is the president of the Atlanta chapter of Bourbon Women, and she was so fun, just so fun. Hey, Burley Earl, he said, how can a man infiltrate this group? I will tell you, being male doesn't mean that you're excluded because, as I said, there were men that were there that attended, mainly husbands, significant others, I'm sure. Maybe some other strays, I don't know. But it's mainly, of course, directed to women, but it was great. So that's it. I think that's my last slide. Oh, one more. So I took that. That was me before I drank, and that was me after. Yes, I did have a cigar. When we went to the the WOW Awards, the Women of Whiskey Awards, they actually had a person that was on the patio, found out she was both an executive bourbon steward and a cigar sommelier. Her name was Kim. She and I had great conversation. And that was out on the patio. So you could go out, take your bourbon out there, smoke a cigar. You know, as I told you all, last year at Reboot's function was when I first smoked a cigar, very first time. It's not something that I would do regularly. It's not really my thing, but kind of the smoking the cigars and the bourbon kind of go together. I was out. I was free. I was having a good time, so I smoked a cigar. It was good, too. It was good tasting cigar. It was very complimentary to what we were drinking. So, yeah, in the moment. Exactly. I was just in the moment. So, yeah, that was my before and after, because you can see after I was squinting just a little bit. Just because I had been drinking by then. And I didn't have to drive. So, yes. Okay, I think that's my last picture. Yes, it is. And you see, you got me sitting here in the dark. How you going to do me? So, but let me tell you my elevator story before I... that involves no one else. So listen, listen, Linda. We're all in the hotel, right? So they have like these 2 glass elevators. And you all in the Atlanta area kind of picture our Hyatt, how they have, is it the Hyatt or the Marriott that has the open atrium with the glass elevators? I can't remember what hotel it is, but anyway, it's the Marriott. Okay. So the Marriott here in Atlanta, but just, it's an open hotel. It's got 2 glass elevators. So imagine 480 women trying to get on these elevators to go different places, to the ballroom, to get to their excursions. You know, we're on high floors, so the steps are not always, you know, an option. So this is the deal. I used to work at a hotel many years ago. I used to work at the Peachtree Plaza here in the Atlanta area. So I know about hotels. I know the inner workings of hotels. So, of course, my thing was they have a service elevator. So I'm going to ride the service elevator. That way I don't have to wait or take the steps. However, service elevators are for the employees. Now, y'all know how I am about rules. I'm not good at following rules, guidelines. Yes, but rules, no. So I'm riding the service elevator. Hey, Gmo the Gemini. And I'm doing real good. I ain't got busted. I'm good. I've been riding it for 2 days or so. So I'm standing at the elevator, trying to do the right thing one time. And it was taking too long. So I kind of veer off, and I'm getting ready to go get on the service elevator, right? So this man who's there with somebody in a conference, he's like, "Hey, where are you going?" What? Like, do I need to get my knife ready? What you talking about? Where am I going? He said, "Are you about to get on the service elevator?" I said, "Yep." So he follows me. Now we get on the service elevator. So we're on there together. And we got on our little badge, right, with our name on it. Now we ain't supposed to be on the service elevator, right?
So that means you got an accomplice.
He chose to be an accomplice. I didn't ask him to accomplice with me. He just accomplished. So we get on the elevator. And damn it, if it didn't stop on some floor, and it's 2 employees. Doors open. They look at us. We look at them. In my mind, I'm like, oh shit.
Y'all straighten out your clothes and shit.
Got this big ass badge on with my name on it and everything, right? So I have my purse. So I do the little, try to put my purse over my badge, right? Oh boy, on there with me. Hey, how you guys today? Come on in. What are you telling them to come on in for? It's their elevator. We're on it. We're wrong. I was like, how the hell I be on here with Brent? Why Brent gotta be my accomplice on this? Because, I looked at his name tag. I knew what the hell his name was. I'm like, looking at him like, what? What are you doing? What is happening? What is happening in this moment? So the people, they kind of pause because they're like confused. So they get on the elevator and one of them, he kind of looked like he might have been a manager or something. I'm just like, oh, shit. Right. So I got to my floor first. I got the hell off and I hightailed it out of there. Brent was on there with him and I guess he kept riding, probably had a whole damn conversation with him. I was just like, shit. See, why do people have to come and fuck up your good thing, right? Why do people do that? Because I'm like, I've been riding this elevator with no problem for like 2-3 days and then here comes Brent.
See, your first mistake was letting him up there with you.
You're right, because I should have. Well, when he said you get ready to get on the service, I didn't.
I would have feigned ignorance.
I should have said no, huh?
Yeah.
I should have been like, no, I'm just going around the corner.
Because at that point, you letting him in on your secret.
True. That is true. That is true. I should have just, because I didn't tell anybody else. Nobody else knew about it.
You didn't need to after that. Right. Everybody else knew.
So, but then, nah, it's me, y'all. So, for about a good 3 hours after that, I was a little, spooked, right? By hour 4, I was back on the service elevator. I was back on the service elevator. I was like, fuck it. I was like, if they tell on me, if they done told, if Brent done went and told or what, oh well, just get caught. I wrote it the rest of the time. I didn't have no problems. Nobody else followed me, and praise the Lord for that. So yeah. So anyway, that's what had happened. So that's my elevator story.
Yeah, Brent over there. Yeah, Burley Earl got it right. Brent over there.
What he said, Brent, exactly. Brent gave none. Come on in. Brent, we're the wrong people in the wrong place at the wrong time. We ain't supposed to be on here, bro.
But we know privilege is real.
It is.
He didn't know he was doing something wrong. Cause rules. What rules?
Okay, listen, y'all. Listen. It says, like the door that we went through, it says employees only.
And again with the privilege, I pay these people's salary with them.
And as a hotel employee, former hotel employee, I knew the hell we wasn't supposed to be there. But yeah. So anyway. So moving on. I want to show y'all a little bit of the swag and then I'm going to taste some stuff. I want to tell y'all, show you a couple of things. First, I'm going to show you what we're going to be drinking. So I told you about New Riff. So that is one of the sample bottles. And I'm going to talk about each of them as I taste them. But the New Riff, which is a Kentucky straight bourbon, that was in our bag. Rebel 100 is the other thing, which is also a Kentucky straight bourbon. Turn that around. And then this one is called Keeper's Heart. Now, I'm kind of intrigued by this one because this is a blend of bourbon and Irish whiskey. And you all know my little, my kind of thing about Irish whiskey is sort of rough. So I'm very curious. The New Riff I tasted at the event, but these other two I have not tasted. The Rebel 100, and Burley Earl said Rebel is pretty tasty, so I'm looking forward to that. And then the Keeper's Heart. I'm looking forward to tasting that. So these are going to be the things that I taste tonight. But real quick, I'm going to put those over to the side. I want to show you a little bit of the swag I got. First of all, y'all, I got a new fan. Uncle Nearest. They were the only black brand represented, but they were there. And I got a new fan, so I'm excited. I can fan. It don't fan as good as Martin Luther King. You know, nobody fan as good as him. But I did get that. I got all kinds of cool stickers. That's Angel's Envy sticker. I love this one. We need this right about now, right? Vote whiskey. That's all we need in our life. This is the one from Buzzard's Roost. This is their sticker. Oh, I got it. Oh, there we go. There we go. But this was the bag was full with stickers. And look at this teeny tiny little flask. I thought this was so cool. It's a flask keychain. So you can put your little liquor in there.
It looks like it's TSA compliant too.
I know. And then you can attach this to your key ring or whatever. I mean, or your belt loop or whatever. So I thought that was super cool.
That might come in handy on the plane for real.
It might. It really might. So this is really cool. Got all kinds of little buttons and pins. This is the Buzzard's Roost pin. This is the one from Mary Dowling. A lot of people collect these, and actually I collect them. And this is Heaven's Door, which is one of their representatives. So everybody had their little, swag that they were giving out. This is something I was super excited about. This is a single ice cube maker, a silicone one. So I asked Locke if I could leave this here when I do my drinks, because a single cube for your drinks is really so much better than a crushed ice because it takes longer for it to melt. So it doesn't water down your drink. So this is really cool. So I was excited about this. And then I have another fan. I'm with Tennessee Whiskey Trail. They were representing, even though we were in Kentucky. So I got that. Show you this. This was the one at the farmhouse. They gave us this nice little bag. Bluegrass Distillers. They gave us that. I was thinking something, but I ain't gonna say it. And then this was the t-shirt from Buzzard's Roost, Sipping Whiskeys. Almost every place we went, as I said, they gave us a t-shirt, a bag, something. We got all types of goodies. We got this, which is Elk's Head. That is one of the brands. It is a pourer. So you put this in the bottle, and then the whiskey pours out through the Elk's Head. So decorative, but really cool. And then this is one of my favorite stickers. Louisville. Say it like you're drinking bourbon. Because I don't know, people, they say it all different ways. Some people say Louisville. Some people say Louisville. Louisville. I've heard so many different things. So, yeah. All different ways to pronounce it. And I had a whole bag full of stickers. Like I said, it was just all types of things, all of the different representatives, all types of paper. I think I got a new Riff one. Did I? Let's see. Yeah, I did. That's the new Riff sticker. So, yeah. Louisville. That's what Lakeita said. Louisville. So, yeah. So, I'm excited about my fans because y'all know I like my fans because I'll be having hot flashes. So let's see. Wait a minute. We gotta see how do they sound. Okay. Can y'all hear that? No? What about that? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? London say, yep, I can hear it. Like that, yeah. Pearl Girl said, good night, right? Exactly. Still, I don't think anything gonna beat my Mafalu for the King. But yeah, we got that. Okay, so let's let me show you two things I actually bought. It's like I said, we had so many great things. I really didn't have to buy anything. But I love this towel. So I bought that. Are we having drinks or are we having drinks? I need to dress accordingly. A hand towel. I thought this was really cool. This was part of the merchandise that they had. I think this was like maybe $15, but I thought it was really, really cool. And then I bought this. Some of the little bling that they had. It's a pin that says Bourbon Women. And of course, I love that it was BW, like Brown Whiskey Woman. So yeah, but really cool. And I bought it and I wore it the night of the WOW Awards. So y'all, and I wore a dress to the WOW Awards, okay? Because I don't wear dresses that much, just FYI, but I wore a dress. I'm proud of me. Okay, so I want to tell you about one more thing, and then we're going to get into these drinks. So they had this. This is called an infinity bottle. And everybody had this in their swag bag. And what this was for was if you went someplace and you did a tasting of something and you didn't drink your entire tasting, you could pour your leftovers into this bottle. So what that means, hey, Ajoy, how you doing? What that means is that if you just, hey, Bright Eyed Sunflower, if you poured all of your little, tidbits or your little tastings into this bottle, at the end, you was going to have some mashup of something, some type of liquor. I'm a purist. I did not do it because I didn't want to know what that tastes like. But almost everybody there did it, and they actually said the mashup was delicious. I might try it next year. I didn't this year. But they gave us 2 of these, actually. So you had, you didn't have to leave any liquor behind if you didn't want to. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. It's something about that. I just was like, I don't know. To me, it felt like, like if you take all your food on your plate and just mix it all together,
Lisa,
and then eat it.
Lisa, think about it. We got a lot of liquor upstairs. We got a lot of bourbon upstairs.
This is true.
We could probably, I got that in a funnel.
That's true.
We could probably put a shot of everything up there. They'll probably get about at least half full.
Probably so. And I mean, honestly, y'all, I don't know what it'll taste like. I can't say because I chose not to do it. But I did like the concept. And they called this an infinity bottle.
That's a dope concept.
It is, and I really did like the concept of it. But I wanted to bring my bottle back, clear and intact.
That means
and the other thing that I
you
thought
just need
about,
to go up there and get another one. That's all.
Well, this was the other thing. I have 2 of them, but this was the other thing I thought about. Hey, Diz, how you doing? This is the other thing I thought about. Okay, if I fill it up, especially if I filled up both of them, I gotta drink all of that liquor before I get back to Atlanta because I can't bring it on the plane. So I thought about that, and then I wound up having to check my luggage anyway. It probably wouldn't have mattered because I bought some liquor, right?
Plain schmeen.
So I probably could have done it.
What's being on the TSA no-fly list between friends? I mean, come on.
I checked my luggage. Okay? I was not being a criminal. I mean, y'all know how I'm about rules, but I'm not built for jail. Okay? And I know that. So I try not to do things that would possibly put me in jail or put me on a no-fly list because I have places I want to go and people I want to see and shit that I want to do. And I want to go back to this. So, But I did love the idea. I did. I like I said, I bought some liquor, so I wound up having to check my bag anyway. I wound up having to check my bag on the way back because I bought liquor. So I could have. But in my mind, I just was like, the main thing was I just didn't think all of that mixed up together was good or gonna be good. But y'all, it was people swigging out of these bottles. And they was like, how yours taste? How yours taste? They were comparing. Because they had all these different things, all these different types of whiskeys mixed up together. But I did love the concept.
I say we use a mason jar and do that.
We could use the mason jar and do
I got some upstairs.
Maybe what I'll do in honor of this concept, I will mix these 3 that I have up. Okay? At the end. I'm going to taste them, but I'll mix the 3 that I have up just to see what they taste like. So let's get to tasting. So I bought some of my glasses that I received as part of the swag. This one is from J. Mattingly, 1845. I got that in the class that I did with the staves, with the barrels. So I'm going to do one tasting there. And I'm going to start off with New Riff. And I want to tell you all a little bit about New Riff. It was founded in 2014, Newport, Kentucky. A full bottle is about $50, $60. Founded by Ken Lewis, independently owned by one family, which has allowed a lot more freedom in their processes. The employees define themselves as corporate refugees. And I love that because they're ranging from craft beer backgrounds to politics. So basically, these are individuals that said, we don't want to be part of the corporate world anymore. We're going to get into the spirits industry, and here we are together. Their motto, which I love because, of course, all of us have this connection to music, is we play our own riff. So musically speaking, love that. But they strongly uphold Kentucky traditional whiskey values. There are about 4 iterations of it. This sample is 65% corn, 30% rye, 5% malted barley. It is a bottled in bond product, which means it's held to a higher standard. And they also make gin at New Riff. So as I said, I did taste this when I was at location at the Bar Arama. We're going to do a little taste here. Didn't have a gurgle, but it's a little bottle, so I don't know. Maybe that's got something to do with it. So what I smell is sweetness. Kind of like toffee is the way that I would describe the sweetness, toffee or caramel. It smells really good. Like, I know this one is good because I had this one, but I know it's good. But cheers, y'all. That's good. That is some good stuff. I like it. Now, it has a Kentucky hug because it's 100 proof. So it's not for the faint of heart. We'll say that. I love the bottle. I love the whole two-tone kind of bottle on it. I like that. And again, this is the one that Creola Dickerson, the brand ambassador that I took the picture with. This is the brand that she works for. So yeah. So this is a good one. And I like on the back, it says a new riff on an old tradition, and it has an outline of their facility. And I know the bottle is teeny tiny, but you can kind of see that a little bit. I like that. Just really different on the bottle and the two-tone bottle. I like different bottles. I like things that are a little unique, a little bit different. Burley Earl said, you used to have a heart and you drank it? So the second one, this is a Mary Dowling glass, because remember I went on a Mary Dowling scavenger hunt. So I told you we went to the leather shop, and the second place was a liquor store. It was Liquor Heaven. Again, everything you can possibly imagine. And then we went to another little place that had drinks for us. It was like a bar that had drinks for us. And that was really cool. But this is the glass that they gave us. So the next one, I think I'm going to go with the Rebel 100. So the Rebel comes out of Lux Row, which is in Bardstown, Kentucky. 2018 is the year on this. $20 roughly, but they also have a 6-year that's about $50. This is owned by MGP. MGP is one of those large sourcers that I was talking about that has lots of whiskeys that they make for a lot of different companies. And it was called Rebel Yell until 2020. But they changed the name because they wanted to distance it from the Confederacy. Now, why they decided to do that in 2020, I don't know, but that's what they decided. But the company itself was founded in 1849 by William LaRue Weller. The recipe was also created in 1849, but it was not branded as Rebel Yell until 1930. This is a wheated bourbon. And Burley Earl said that this was good. You said you've had this before, so this is good. Oh, it had a little gurgle. All right. You singing in the midnight hour? All right. So, I said like wine, people like kind of swirl around, but whiskey, you sort of rotate. Just kind of tilt it. And we're going to smell it. It does not have a really, really strong smell. I just thought about, let me crunch a cracker because I still have a little bit of that new Riff taste in my mouth. I can taste it. So I did remember to bring my little dry ass table crackers. All right. So this one I haven't had. I kind of like it. This is wheated. So that means the secondary grain is wheat, which is going to give it a softer taste, something more along the lines of Maker's Mark. The only thing I'm kind of getting off of this is it has like a bit of oiliness that I'm getting on my palate. I don't know how I feel about the texture, but the taste of it is pretty good. It's not as good as Maker's Mark, but it's pretty good for a wheated bourbon. I have to say, and it's only $20. It's kind of like this. New Riff I liked, so, I'm going to give that like a 4 or a 5. This, I'm going to say, I think I might give this about a 3. I think it's solid. It's pretty good, but are there other wheated bourbons out there? Yeah, there are. But I think for $20, this is pretty good. And if you like a little softer taste in the bourbon in your whiskey, you're going to like it. Because this did not have the Kentucky hug that the new Riff had. So, yeah. Okay, so Burley, you said you remember being about to drink lots of it. about to drink lots of it. Okay, which can be a dice roll. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to put that one to the side. Now, this one. This is the one I'm nervous about, but I want to tell you all about it because I actually love their story. I kind of love what it symbolizes. It's called Keeper's Heart, and it comes out of Minneapolis, which is really different because, of course, most bourbon comes from Kentucky or Tennessee. It is 92 proof for a full bottle, about $40 to $45. It's Irish whiskey and bourbon blended together. Family owned, is cousins who founded and own it. The master distiller, Brian Nation from Ireland, partnered with David West of High West Distillery in Utah to create it. I thought this was really cool. On their property, they have 3 copper stills. And remember, I showed you all the pictures of the copper stills, so you know what that looks like now. A restaurant and a bar. Because what they're really, really big on is the pairings, the food with the whiskey. And they said their thing was they want people to have a really good time when they come. So on the bottle, and I'm going to see how well you can see it on the bottle. If you can see the motto. Nah. You can't see it that well because the label is black. But on the bottle, there's a saying, a Latin saying called Fugit Hora. And what Fugit Hora means is the hour flies. And it's a reminder to cherish every moment. And that's the reason why I love the concept of it so much, because that's what we should be doing. We should be cherishing every moment because life is fleeting. Sometimes it can feel very long. Sometimes it can feel very short, but it is fleeting. So I think it's a reminder, cherish the people that you care about. Be in the moment of whatever it is that you're doing. Your family members, good, bad, indifferent. But I think it's really a lovely message. And of course, Keeper's Heart, in the romantic sense, is a person who is the keeper of your heart, the person that you love and who loves you, in such an undying, devoted manner. I also think that Keeper's Heart, and this is my personal spin, you can have friends, you can have people in your life that are keepers of your heart and you are keepers of theirs. So I just love it. And I guess it's the romantic portion of me that loves that. There's a little bit in there, not a whole lot, but a little bit of romance in there. So I love this. And I found out by going to their website that you can get a personalized label, which I absolutely love, that you can present to somebody as a gift. And I think that would be so meaningful and awesome to present that, with that being their motto of, you know, the hour flies and cherishing every moment, and then the meaning of keeper's heart. So let's taste it. Let's see what this tastes like. Oh, the top was hard to come off. This guy has a very pleasant smell. A little hint of chocolate and honey is strongly what I smell. This glass is a Bourbon Country Louisville, Kentucky glass, Glencairn glass. So cheers, y'all. Okay. Me and Irish whiskey. Even though they blended it with bourbon, I don't like it. I think it's the Irish whiskey. It's the Irish whiskey. Irish whiskey is just very rough for me. I don't really care for it. And it smelled nice. It was not, now it wasn't like that slain stuff that I tasted on St. Patrick's Day. But it was, I don't care for it. You know, but it's a blending of bourbon and Irish whiskey. If you like Irish whiskey, you might like it. You might like it. So for me, on a scale from 1 to 5, I don't know if I should rate it because I don't like Irish whiskey, but I did not care for it. I'm just going to say I don't like it. So out of the 3 things that I tried, I got the new Riff. I got the Rebel 100. And I got the Keeper's Heart. I love Keeper's Heart Story the best. I absolutely love that. Rebel 100 was kind of in the middle. I was about to call it Rebel Yell. Kind of in the middle for me. But then the new Riff was the one that I liked the best. I gave that the highest rating. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. Now, I'm going to try this because I said I was going to do it. I'm just going to pour a little bit of each one of these into one glass. See what it tastes like all mixed up together. And then, I don't know, maybe Locke is right. We'll get out a try one day. All of the stuff that's upstairs in his liquor cabinet. So a little bit of that. A little bit of that. And we're going to see what this tastes like. Let me have a cracker. After this, I might be reaching for my tea. Anyway. Swirl that around a little bit. Smells good. I don't like it. Them 3 things mixed up together did not taste good. But maybe if I had some things I really liked mixed together, it might taste better. I'll just say that. But yeah, this is a... So did I tell y'all I went to a farm and they said it was a farm, but it was really probably a plantation house. Did I say that? Did I tell y'all that? Okay, just wondering. All right, so here is my tea. Maybe I need to make a hot toddy. This is tea, so maybe I should pour some of that in there. So anyway, moving on. So that was my review of the conference. Anybody out there that is interested, if you are a bourbon enthusiast, I highly recommend it. Okay, I highly recommend attendance of it. I feel like it was worth every penny that I spent in terms of airfare, hotel, everything. And I admit I waited till the last minute to make a decision to go. So it was a little bit more expensive for me to attend. But I will be on it next year. Because I think they start posting the tickets in April. So I will be prepared in order to return next August because I had a really great time. And I will definitely go back. So I want to tell you guys about some things that I have coming up. First of all, there's a note that is going through Stream Elements. I don't see it. I haven't been paying attention, but there is a note that is going through Stream Elements, and I want you all to pay attention to that. But it is about supporting K-Lock, Lock and Key Media. He did not know that I was going to put this in my Stream Elements. He turns off the light on me. But it is about supporting him. And the reason why it is there, first of all, on Sundays he comes on, he does, Sunday Noir. He's been on various raid trains. He's doing some things, so please support him. Tell people to come in, listen, support him on the raid trains, whatever he has going on. But the reason why I put that in there is because, when I was telling you all, I really love the sentiment on the Keeper's Heart. So whenever I travel, it is also like downtime for me. And I also spend time thinking. I always take my journal, I write in it, and I reflect on things. It's time for me to kind of clear my mental palette, so to speak. But one of the things I really thought about was how grateful I am of the support that you all have given me, the support that we give each other on Twitch, and specifically the support that K-Lock has given me with this show, with allowing me to be in his studio, for being so generous with everything with the family reunion in terms of the spinning autism. And I felt the need to show more direct support for him as well. And I'm on his mod team now, so I'm grateful. I consider that to be a privilege to be on his mod team. But I wanted to make sure that I remind you all about how we have to support one another. And specifically, I want us to support him and everything that he's got going on. He does some great things here in terms of hosting people, producing things, and it's not just everything that we see here on Twitch, but other stuff too. So I just want to give him a little bit of recognition and love for that. And I say a little bit, but it's a lot of it because it's from the depths of my heart. Truly, I mean it. That I'm grateful and I want to support you in whatever way I possibly can. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I missed you. I missed being here.
I miss you too.
And he is the shizzle. You are right. You are so right, Funklor. He is the shizzle. So I'm going to have that going through my Stream Elements because I want to remind everybody. Also, I want to say, and I hope he don't kick my butt. He ain't in here, I don't think. But tomorrow is one of my good friends, my Ace Boone #1 raccoon, Buddy's birthday. Tomorrow is Fudge's birthday. DJ Fudge's birthday is tomorrow. He and I are fellow Virgos, a week apart. I want to wish him happy birthday wherever he is, whatever he's doing. I hope it's wonderful. Fudge, I love you. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate the laughs, the leans, everything. And hopefully we will have something coming to you all very, very soon in the way of a podcast. We've been talking about it for a while, I know, but we're really going to try to formulate it and really produce a product. And I talked to Fudge about it, and I'm going to hold him to his word, but I talked to Locke about it when I got here. I was like, okay, we're going to do this thing. So, yes. I want to tell you all thank you. Happy Labor Day to you. It's coming. I hope you got the day off and you can chill, eat some barbecue, or just, lay in the bed and look up at the ceiling, whatever you got going on. Hey, Sight Giver. I will be back on September 5th, next Thursday. I got lots of material, lots of ideas, which I absolutely loved about the conference, things that I can talk about and share with you all. So I'm looking forward to that. And then lastly, I have a new raid train coming. You all know I have these ideas on the whiteboard of my mind. So I have made my pitch to my partner, which is D-Man. We said, yeah, we're doing it. It's a go. So look out for that. It's something very different, very unique from anything that I think has been done on Twitch prior to date. So I'm looking forward to it. So be on the lookout for a Brown Whiskey Woman D-Man production with some of the DJs that you absolutely love, but doing something a little bit different. And I am going to bring back Coloring Outside the Lines, which is my original raid train. Hey, K Marie. Where, each DJ kind of has an hour and a half free reign to do whatever they want. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So I'm getting back into the raid train thing. It's something that I absolutely love doing. It's work to put it together, but then I get to sit back and enjoy, and I love that. So let's see who's on and where can we go. All righty. Okay, some folks on. Okay. Okay, I see a place I want to go. What time is it? Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at these people that are on the raid trains, and I know they're probably going to be raiding out pretty soon. Got time? Okay, then I would love to go see Guzzle. And if y'all don't know about Guzzle, I don't know where you been, because that dude is dope. He does some great remixes, blends. He's on Bandcamp. Y'all, Guzzle is the man, and he is a dope person. He's just a nice person. He and his wife are wonderful. So let's go to Guzzle. I just want to say thank you all so much for being patient with me. Love y'all. And I'll be back next Thursday with some new stuff to drink and some new stuff to talk about. Not mixing up all of this stuff over here that I didn't like, but maybe I'll mix up some stuff that I did like or do like and put that together. And yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, that'll be good. And I'll have my little fancy single ice cubes and, all of that stuff. So thank y'all so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. And thank you, Funk Lord, for coming in here and coming in hot and making me laugh. But no, I was not talking about my cooch, or any of that. None of that. Just riding the elevator with Brit. That's all. That's all I'm doing. So yeah, we're gonna get out of here. So are we reminding people of our favorite bourbon? Hey, little Miss Ruthie, how you doing? Did you say nope? Okay, yep. Oh, yep. Okay. All right. See y'all. Love y'all. Next week. Happy Labor Day. Drink some whiskey.
My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, would you call me old fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan?